And we've had a little bit of a problem in the United States. We've had a little bit of a problem in the United States that James Casbolt has gone and got shot. So we've got Max Spiers, whose video isn't quite coming through at the moment, but because of the importance of this, Max is going to tell us exactly what's happened as an update to James Casbolt. Okay, over to you, Max. And
Okay.
anybody else in
Yeah.
the picture? There, Sarah, maybe.
Yeah. Hi, Miles. So the day before yesterday, I got a couple of texts come through from Michael, and he is currently, or was currently, staying at the um, Marriott Hotel, which is right next to the San Antonio airport. And initially, he was sending me photographs of three cars that were parked right outside the front of his hotel room. Now, he took the pictures, and they were all Washington license plate, DC license plates. And then on the windscreen of each car, it had Fort Meade stickers.
Yeah.
So we all know Fort Meade, Maryland, is where the NSA headquarters are. So that was initially what happened, and I spoke to him on the phone, and he was a little concerned about what was going on. He went outside and was taking a closer look at these cars, and then I had nothing, and there was nothing, and I was still texting him back, and I got nothing back. Then the next thing I know, he sends me a picture of the third car, and the driver's side window had been smashed. And then I spoke to him, and he was sort of in a panicked mode. What he had then relayed to me was that there was a shot, and that there was a shot at him, and that somehow the bullet had ricocheted somehow off of him, and then hit the driver's side window of the Mini that was there, smashed the window on the side. Okay, the continuation on from that was the ambulance came. I have video footage of the ambulance coming. He got taken in an ambulance and taken to a hospital in San Antonio. Now, he says at that point that he had and blacked out and has amnesia. He was definitely gone for 2 days. When he left the hospital, he left with them telling him he had a concussion, and they had to keep him in the hospital for 2 days to keep an eye on him because he had a concussion. But as the next day went on, he says he feels like he has hardly any memory of being in the hospital, but what he does feel like is that he was taken to a base. Now, I know that there is a base below San Antonio Airport, which is right next to where the hospital is. And for the last 24 hours now, memories have been coming back slowly from him, which tends to be the way he does it. They usually come back over a 24-hour period after the incident, and he feels he was taken to a base. And he doesn't know what happened while he was there. But the diagnosis was of him having concussion and a broken window of one of the cars. Then that point, all three DC license plate Fort Meade cars had gone.
Now the point is, you're saying a bullet ricocheted off James Casbolt.
Yes.
Now I've sent James a couple of slightly tongue-in-cheek text messages, like it's only because he's got such a thick skull that he survived this. But sympathy all the way there. Holding his hand.
Yes.
Um, what do we mean by a bullet ricocheting off James Casbolt?
Okay, so all I can tell you is as much as what was relayed to me, and I've been speaking to him for the past, quite a bit for the past 12 hours, and I have two sets of video footage. So all I can tell you is what he relayed to me. So
Okay.
he said to me, he said the bullet was shot at him. He said that well, he was implying that it came off of his head and hit into the side, the driver's side, of the window of the
Now the
car.
point is there anything at all that show a wound or anything at all which could be have pictures of this or what? Because I mean
Um,
this is pretty
I
fantastic stuff.
Right. So what I'm he's actually on a Greyhound bus as we speak right now. He's on a 3-day trip. So, but I'm in touch with him while he's on the bus. So the all the pictures I have are of him, the broken window. You can clearly see it's the NSA car. You can see
Yeah.
that. And then I have video footage of an ambulance arriving, and then some photographs of him when he's in the hospital.
Okay.
But
Well,
in
if
terms
you're able to send those to us by wetransfer.com or on Skype immediately after this.
yes,
But the
I'll
other
do
thing
that.
is that right now I'm in West London and it's as hot as hell, and it's as hot as hell where you are. And
Yes.
on this second issue, briefly, in this very quick little update, because we don't have any video from you, but we'll use the miracle of editing to try and put some pictures up during this.
Yeah.
That there's a bit of an issue with the sun.
And I'm going to hand you over to Sarah for that one,
Hi,
Miles.
Miles. Yes, there's a bit of an issue with the sun. By the way, something with the sun, it's like doing something with the holographic reality that we live in. It's really, really shaking it right now. And it seems like the different frequencies, like all this stuff that they're talking about that are happening, I feel that it's also going on in another frequency. So
Now, what are they talking about? Let's nail this down. Who is talking about what?
The things like where their bases or stuff, I don't believe them to be in this frequency. I believe them to be maybe in another frequency. And that's how they're hiding them. And so
who is hiding what?
Let me explain this. Obviously, the main powers around the world and the forces that keep a lot of the darker things hidden from humanity, they have figured out how to take people into a different frequency, even with abductions and everything. So, and that everything's hidden in plain daylight. Like above Dallas, I've noticed that there is a sort of city, a sort of a Anunnaki city above Dallas, and I can see it when I'm driving and stuff. I can see like.
Okay, with this little brief update, because we've got about maybe 2 or 3 minutes left before we have to clear this.
Apparently the sun is affecting.
What is actually happening with the sun?
It seems to have gotten more hotter, and I notice a lot of activity with the sun. And whenever I've been in other realms, in other places, it seems to be shaking those other places. So
what do you mean by realms and other places? Other dimensions, other realities?
Other frequencies. Yes, other realities, other frequencies. It's shaking that. And so things are coming out, energies are being let loose. And I think right now that it's being done purposely. So humanity, in the end, is for what humanity chooses. That humanity chooses the path they're going to go, obviously. But I think they're going to have a lot of pressure put upon them so that they do make a choice. And I do believe that it will be for the better. But until they're really, really in a bad spot, they're not going to make a choice until they really see it in front of their eyes.
So finally, has the sun actually moved its orbit? Because some people are saying it is setting too far north by 15 degrees.
Yes, it has moved its orbit, and it's much hotter than usual, very much.
How much has it moved?
I'm not quite sure. I remember that what happened is I was in another frequency when it moved, and it shook that realm where I was at, that reality where I was at. It literally shook it. So, and I was aware it was the sun. And then after that, that's when I awoke into this.
So if the sun has moved, then our orbits will change, and astronomers should be able to see major anomalies and positions of the stars and things like that.
Yes. Yes, and you're going to see a lot more. I think I was reading NASA the other day. They were saying they just found portals. I think between the sun or something. I think it was a NASA thing about that, where they just have found portals.
Well, I think right now, because we don't have video of you, and we'll come back to you for another Basis Project report on both how James is getting on, and also that other minor little issue that you've mentioned there about the sun, because I'm sure that's not going to affect too many people. But we'd be needing to get some data on that, because we need to. Or I assume anybody who could get data is being told not to say anything.
It's definitely going to affect. It's definitely going to affect the different energies here on Earth, because certain ones of them cannot cope with the light or the sun also. So I think that.
Is that something, very briefly as we close? Is there something like? Is there any spectrum that we would be looking for? Any energetic signatures that a scientist could look at and say, look, this is here that wasn't there before, or anything like that?
I don't know, but I'm sure that things will come up in the news about it.
Right.
That's what I feel. Yeah, things will come up pretty soon in the news about it.
Well, I can tell you this for a fact: the sun is a stargate in and of itself.
Yes, it's definitely.
It's an entirety.
Yeah.
And there are certain groups that know how to use that correctly, and you can jump, dimensional jump through it, Helios.
Yeah, I think Nassim Haramein has mentioned something like that.
Yeah. The problem is to go through the sun's portal, you need enough energy, or it will burn you. It's a very guarded portal, so you have to collect a lot of energy, and I believe that that's what they're doing here on Earth, is they're collecting a lot of energy to go through that portal. It's a portal that was put there long ago to protect another realm, actually, beyond that. Okay,
well, this is all getting very complicated. We're just going to have to close it for now. And maybe when we get everything working, we can do a proper update shortly. So for now, I'll say goodbye from Miles, and goodbye from...
Goodbye from Max.
And
goodbye from Rachel here.
Okay. God bless and good night, if we still have night, if it's ever going to be a night ever again.
Thank you, Miles.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to